Sorry, yes, I was showing you the cylinders. You cannot really feel these. Not with my bare finger anyways. So the car was running. This one looks pretty bad. So I think this is like some sort of maybe corrosion. You can see like where the coolant was coming in right here, and it just streams, goes down. So I'm making this video so you can see what to watch for. So right here, that's where the crack is. You can see it clearly. This one here on this side is kind of, I'm gonna try to block this. It's kind of hard to see, but it's right there, right on my fingertip is right there. So that's again horrible. It doesn't feel like nothing. You cannot feel it with your finger, which is weird. But yeah, there's no point. This block is dead. This car, apparently, I bought it as a parts car, and one with the hope of fixing it, which that's what I'm gonna be doing now. It's just been sitting out there for quite a while. So now, since I caught up with a bunch of work, I decided to give it a go. So yeah, you can just tell the rotors, it's been sitting for a long time, and it has a little bit of rust right there. But and then of course right there, because there's no holes or anything. So I'm gonna fix all this. I'm gonna hit the floors down, and that's what happens because you lift the car here, which you're not supposed to. And I normally don't do it unless I'm removing the bracket here to lower the frame. But when they're really clean, I put a big plate, and this one is already kind of damaged, so just kind of half-assed there. Jacking points are decent. The rockers, they might need some love. I don't know if the all-wheel drive works. I think it does. Though that's what the guy told me. All this stuff I'm gonna detail. I'm gonna clean all these. I always do. Try to get rid of as much of the flake and the rust. Same with this stuff. I don't like seeing all these. It just drives me nuts. I don't know how, I mean, I guess not everybody has a hoist at home, and they can keep their car decent. All this stuff, I just can't stand it. Cannot. But yeah, this is what Ontario, Canada cars, most cars look like this. If it was a Japanese or American car, it would be completely gone. So that's why I like Volvos. I always like Volvos, and because even though the weather and everything, they still somewhat survive. And this is one of the worst I've seen, actually. I'm starting to double guess if it's worth fixing. Oh man, but I think I'm just gonna do it. So took the frame. This looks like they've been replaced too. I don't think these ones are original. Those look too clean. And it's funny because this one always has like an oval shape, and the other side is just round. I don't know if you guys ever seen that. And this is just a regular. I think this one's shear if you get in an accident, and then it's supposed to like roll down. Some crazy accident proof, so you don't end up with the engine on crushing your feet or something like that. But yeah, this is my 5th or 6th engine that I dropped in this, maybe more. I'm getting pretty good at this, and this one came down fairly quick. I had this motor down in like 3.5 hours smoothly. You know, disconnect your heater core. I always take the bolt inside the cabin on the steering rack. Universal, just a little bolt with a nut. They're pretty tight with Loctite, so make sure you put the Loctite back on, which I try to not forget. So like as I was saying, I was detailing this side. Just give me more courage to finish the project, seeing stuff clean. Took the shafts off. Always take the shafts off because the spindles, they like to. These ones are lighter, but when they have the big original shots, these ones, they always come to the side, and they rip the boots. So that's something always to consider if you don't want to be hunting for R shafts, which are not cheap. So always remove your bolts. Yeah, the harness comes all from there, and it all hangs here. You can see everything here, all the harness, no problem. And you disconnect all your transmission linkage and transmission connections and leave them on this side. Then you remove your exhaust, which is down there. Got a 3-inch setup with a MagnaFlow, whatever that is, resonator or muffler. I don't think it's a muffler. It's just whatever that is. Yeah, it's pretty loud. It's agnostic. I don't like it. And then you remove your shaft coupling. This one's of course always the bolts are almost non-existent. This one I was lucky to get them off. Getting pretty good at this too. And then once it's off, I always tap it with a hammer. Each side, and then normally comes loose. Another tip is, before you start the project, start the car, lift all the wheels, take all these bolts off, and then with the brakes on, or I can't remember how I used to do it when I didn't have a hoist, but I would use the power on the angle gear to break these loose, right? So you kind of like block the rear tire somehow, like with the brakes, and then just give it gas. I don't remember, but good talk. But now I just hit it, because this one's, there's a hole in the back here that you can put some punch through it. The back ones, that's what I do to remove it, because look, this is normally how they look. Pretty nasty. So I'm gonna clean all this, but yeah, behind here there is a there's a hole. Now what I do is I grab a curved, as thick as you can, chisel, and then you hammer on it with the, I always use my air hammer, and knock it off. That's how I take those off. Because if you try to pry these and pull it down, chances are you're gonna wreck these right here. This lip is not very strong. So if you're thinking of prying it off, this thing is gonna bend. And you don't wanna do that, because you're gonna have to tap it back, fix it. So the idea is to strip this motor. I'm gonna measure the pistons and all the clearances, and hopefully my internals on the block are okay. And then I'm gonna grab these low pressure turbo 2.5. So I'm gonna use that block, and yeah, I'm gonna put new rod bearings and rings, and I'm gonna hone it. Maybe I send it to the shop to make sure there's no cracks on this one, but this one looks good. So double BBT 2005 or 3 or 4, I can't remember. Yeah, so that's the project. That's what we got going on here. Clean all this. So what I'm gonna do is take this drivetrain off. I am gonna leave the tranny attached, and then I'm gonna put the subframe back up with the tires on, and I'm gonna push it outside while I can keep working on all the projects, because I do have quite a bit of work coming, and it's still snowing. So I got my T5 manual that I bent a valve one day. I don't know how, just one day. It's not compression. It was probably just about to happen. I know I shaved the head too much, and I was taking a big chance, but I used one of my car running, so I think the clearance on the valve on the piston was too close. But yeah, leave it at this. I would hopefully keep updating on this vehicle, see how it goes on the engine build, because I like to get this guy running. It's been over a year that has been in my possession and sitting, and plus the last owner had it sitting for a long time. So I'm gonna clean all this. That gives me a lot of motivation to keep going with this project. Start sourcing some parts like the head gasket kit, and take this head right there, it's on the floor. I'm gonna take it to the shop and resurface it, and whatever they have to do, pressure test it and make sure there's no cracks, and hopefully it's not fucked. And then we can put this car together, because if not, I mean, if I start running into too many issues with this, I'm gonna have to part it out, which is what I got the car for pretty much at the beginning. I was gonna part it out, but I don't know, my part out times, I don't want doing that anymore. It just feel bad. Sometimes, you know, the cars are shot, they have rotted frames, stuff like that. I don't care, but if I can save it, it's a different story. So yeah, I leave it at that, and you guys have a great day.